This is the very first episode of what I hope will be many of a new YouTube channel and podcast that I'm starting called the TK421 broadcast. That's my friend TK421 behind me there, still celebrating the Super Bowl championship of the Chiefs with his Patrick Mahomes jersey on. I do a lot of things in these videos. I'm going to talk about my collection. I'm going to talk about new content, books, comic books, shows, probably sprinkle in some Marvel, maybe some fantasy football, all the things that I enjoy basically. Today I've got a really cool video to start. Over the last several months I've been getting some of my collection graded from when I was a kid. So I basically have all of the original figures from the Kenner line, some of them boxed, some of them loose. I've also got most of the original ships and play sets, many of those in boxes, only the boxes are a little beat up. So I started grading some of them. And today I've got a really cool video for you I think you're gonna like. It's an unboxing of some of my collection, the first pieces I got graded from Collectors Archive Services. It is a box of Star Wars collecting Holy Grails. I'm really excited to open it up, see how everything graded, get your thoughts on it, get your feedback. Would love to know what you think about the video. Please be kind. This is the first time I've ever done this. So the only other videos I built before this was college basketball recruiting videos for my daughter when she was in high school. It did get her recruited to several colleges, so I don't know, maybe I'm better than I think I am. But would love to get your thoughts. Give me a subscribe, give me a thumbs up. More to come. But today, get ready for an unboxing of some Holy Grails. So several months ago, I started getting some of my collection graded by CAS, Collectors Archive Services. I actually took these items to Florida. I was traveling there for work and dropped them off in person. Partially because you'll see one of the items is a very unique and rare sign that I did not want to be damaged. Huge box. You'll see there's not that many items in here, but I'm anxious to see how big the casing is actually. You see relative to the desk, the size of the box. It's just huge. So I'm going to start to open it up. You can see they really pack this stuff up well. Nothing's going to happen to the items in this box. Okay, I've got it down where I'm starting to see some stuff. Got a bunch of the foam out of there. This is the first item. We'll open it up and see what's in that. So this is the archival documents on all of my items I had graded. I think there's 4 or 5 items in this box. We'll look at those later after we look at the items. The next thing is this metal envelope. We'll open it up and see what's inside of there. Okay, so cut it open. This is a few of my loose figures that I had graded. So I had several loose figures, the sign, and a carded figure graded in this set. I've had a few other figures and items graded as well over the last few months, but this was the first one I took in. I'll talk to you more about that why later, but this looks like a couple of the loose figures. So Han Solo and Carbonite, very secure in his case. Looks great. This figure graded at an 80, which I think is fair. Actual rating was 80.4. I think that's consistent with this figure. Pretty clean. A few, little paint marks like on his hand and things like that. You can see that there. But generally speaking, a very, very clean figure. One of my favorites, obviously part of the last 17. Very, very cool. The next one, and this one, is my Man figure. Most of my figures are from when I was a kid. I bought them. My mom kind of helped me collect them. She kept collecting them after I kind of grew out of it, which is why I got some of these graded. But so a Man, you can see he came in at an 85. Super clean. I don't know quite where near mint is, but I would say that's pretty near mint. Not a lot of paint marks on a Man, or marks, scratches, whatever. His staff is super clean. So again, 85 on this one. Again, I think that seems pretty fair to me. So I have another manila envelope. I will open this again. The figures I got graded were my kind of most valuable ones. Not really because I plan on selling them ever I don't. More so that I wanted to protect them, keep them in good shape. And my plan is to actually get all of my original vintage Star Wars figures graded. I have every one of them either carded or loose from the original series. This was one I bought as an adult. Really good shape. R2-D2 with pop-up lightsaber, Power of the Force. Again, came in at an 80, 80.6 to be exact. Pretty clean sticker. Can't really tell here, but very little discoloration. The video's not giving it credit. Obviously the original lightsaber, clean sticker, very clean dome, shiny dome, good paint. All in all, just a really, really great example of the R2-D2 with pop-up lightsaber. So the next one is the Luke Stormtrooper coin. So interesting story here. He graded out at 80 plus. I sent in my Luke Stormtrooper, which I also bought as an adult a few years ago. He graded fine. His helmet was authentic. The gun was authentic. The problem was it wasn't the right gun. So it was the blue-black version of the gun, which some grading companies will take. CAS does not. They only take the black version. I did buy another gun that I thought was the black version, sent it in. It was also not the black version. So I'll show that in a minute, the Luke Stormtrooper that got sent back, and then the one I ended up buying that was already graded that I'm gonna have to send in again. But 80 plus in the Luke Stormtrooper coin, pretty cool. I just went ahead and had them graded since they had it with the figure. And then my final loose figure in this set, I believe, is my blue Snaggletooth. No dent in his foot or his boot. You can see he's super clean, has the correct gun. He graded out as an 80 as well, and total 82.3. So very, very good grade on him. I'm not quite sure what mint or near mint is, but to me these are all great grades for what I think are really, really nice examples of these figures. This figure I've had a long, long time. He's been on display in my theater room, so really excited to get him graded and protected. You can see a little bit of paint rub on his boots, which is common for this figure, on the bottom as well. But otherwise, super, super clean example of this blue Snaggletooth figure that came as an exclusive with the Sears mail-away cantina. So, and you can see it was in the catalog. You can also see his little bit of paint rub on his hand as well. But clean belt, really great face, gun, just an awesome figure. Again, happy with this grade at a 82.3. I really like that CES does kind of detailed gradings. And I will say that customer service has been great. Communication's been great along the way. And then obviously great protection as they're shipping these things back to me and that kind of thing. So I believe this is the last of the ungraded figures, or I believe this is the last of the loose figures in this submission. I've got a few others that I've sent in that I don't have back yet. But okay, so the next thing in the box, this is a carded figure. This is my Londo General, Power of the Force with the coin. Again, I think a pretty good figure, a little bit of, bending things on the card, so I'm anxious to see where this one comes out as well. So I'm gonna open this up and then come back, because they tape these things up really good, wrapped in bubble wrap. Nothing's happened to this thing, but it also is a little difficult to get out of there because of that. So I'm gonna open it up real quick. Okay, so it took me a couple of minutes to get into this bad boy, but let's see, wrapped up exceptionally well. Here he is, Londo General with the coin, pretty clean bubble, a little bit of yellowing, unpunched card, pretty straight and clean. Just a great, great example of a Londo General. Again, this is one I bought as an adult many, many years ago. I've had this one for several years. See his archival statement on the back there, so I'll have to open that up. I'll show those in a minute. He graded out at a 75. So 76.9 overall. So the figure graded out as a 90. The bubble graded out as an 85, and the card as a 75. So again, I think CAS is very fair with these gradings. If you get 100, no one gets 100, but anything close to 100, right? It's basically right off the line, a perfect figure, perfect card that never happens, particularly when you're dealing with something as old as these figures are. So happy with that grading of a 75 for a carded Londo General. You can see a little bit of creasing in the card in a couple of places, a few marks on it as well, but overall just a unpunched, super clean version of the Londo General. Okay, I believe the last piece in this box is the piece I'm most excited to see. So background story on this is my mom kind of helped me collect Star Wars when I was a kid growing up in the late 70s, 80s. And she got for me a sign, original Bell sign from a toy store, small local toy store in the town we lived in Missouri, and also the original display case, which the display case had the back sign with the photos of the actors and then a tray where the cards went. I sold it a few years ago just because it was just taking up space in my house and we were downsizing. I wish I would have kept at least the sign, but I lost my mom about a year ago, over a year ago, and after she passed away, decided I really wanted to protect this sign. It's an amazing shape. I saw one sold in an auction for, I think, over $30,000, and less for the money, just more for the memories with my mom. It was in really, really good shape. I'm anxious to see how it graded, but also I started to see a little bit of separation from the paper on the side, mounted on the cardboard, on the edges and things. So I just felt like, you know what, I really had to get this protected. Worry less about the grading, more about just protecting it so I'll have it for years to come, and maybe my son or daughter will want it at some point. So again, huge box. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I'm a little bit nervous about the place I have for this in my current theater room. We're in the process of building a new house, so I'll have to make a space for this in the new place. So I don't know it's going to fit where I had it before, but we'll see. Go up to the theater room in a minute and see, but I will, like before, really wrapped up in bubble wrap really good. So I'm going to open this bad boy up and come back and show you what I got. Okay, so that was a lot harder to get out of that bubble wrap than I thought it was going to be, but here's the sign. It's huge. I did not anticipate how big it was going to be in the case. But interesting, the case doesn't really have that much extra space around the sides. It's just the sign is so big, and then what holds it in place, right? You see the sign, it's beautiful. Again, my mom got this for me for a toy store when I was a kid. Where you see some of the edges, we're starting to fray a little bit. But the colors are really bright and brilliant. No marks, no drawing on it, nothing, no scratches, just, except a little bit of the edges where you lose a little bit. This is obviously the first 12 figures. So you can see again, some separation on the edges. There's the grading certificate. I mean, look at those colors. This thing is just amazing. I love this piece. I love it more than my mom got it for me. And so many great memories of my mom going to Kmart or Ventures or Sears and buying new figures when I was a kid. Holidays, calling me when new figures came out because she was at the store. Just so many great memories. And both my mom and dad passed away last year in February and March, respectively. This sign graded at a 70, which again, I think is pretty good and pretty fair. The sign itself is super clean, the hole's clean. It's just the edges where you're seeing, some separation and things. But it graded at 70.5 or 70.6. Just 1977 is when this sign is from. I think my mom got it in 78 or something like that, after it had been in the store, a small toy store in Missouri, where she got this from. But so excited to have this piece back. Collector's Archive has had it since the end of January, along with the other items. And I did put this in the archival acrylic because again, it's cardboard, it's paper. I really wanted to protect it like a print. So I did the more expensive acrylic on this as well. So not inexpensive to grade, but again, my hope is that my son or daughter at some point will take this piece and have it in their home as well. Okay, I've brought everything upstairs to my theater room. This little area in front of the theater room. So where historically that sign set was up on top of this shelf here, but I'm curious whether or not it's going to fit. You can see I've got my first 12 figures there, all original except for the Jawa cape. I do not believe he's original. I bought it, but I don't believe it's original. The Jawa I've had since I was a kid. These are a couple of other figures graded that I had from CAS. So Pat Blue, or Rumba here, I'm sorry, it was an 85. Good figure, a little yelling on the car, on the bubble. Again, unpunched card. And Pat Blue was a 75, 76.9 to be exact. Again, somewhere on the card. So I think it's a fair grade. Bubble's a lot cleaner than the Londo General. So if I compare these, you know, the Pat Blue, the Ramba, and the Londo General, it's interesting. I think the Bubble is probably a little bit better on the General than it was on Ramba. Maybe a little more, sorry, lighting here's not great. Okay, and here's the loose figures. RGD2 pop-up lightsaber, Luke Stormtrooper coin, I'll come back to that. My beautiful Mana Man, graded out an 85. My great looking blue Snaggletooth. And of course the Han Stormtrooper. So I said I'd come back to the coin. So I mentioned earlier I mailed it away, had the wrong gun. So this is my original figure I mailed in. It was rejected because the gun was the blue-black version. You can see it's a really blue-black. Like it's, at the time actually I thought they would accept it because there are many examples of the tri-logos where you find Luke Stormtrooper carded with the blue-black blaster. So I thought they might accept it, but they did not. This helmet also graded out as authentic, so that's great. So then I got another gun that I bought online on eBay. The buyer was sure it was the right gun. Again, looks really black. I sent it in, it was not. It was again a blue-black version. The buyer was great. Gave me a discount, kind of representing the difference between, you know, a blue-black gun and a black gun and what those are worth. So I bought a CAS graded Luke Stormtrooper. He was graded 75. Pretty good example, like I said, I think mine's a little bit better. Unfortunately, I dropped him. So the gun came loose, the figure came loose, the helmet's still in place. So what I'm going to do is mount my Luke Stormtrooper, which I think is a little bit cleaner than the other one, and ask them to grade whichever one and recase whichever one grades higher. And then I will likely sell the other version. And then grade it obviously with the correct black gun. I should say I usually will take my graded figures out of the plastic wraps. I save them for when we move, but I will take them out. I'm not going to take these out because I don't have a place to display them right now, and like I said, we are getting ready to move in a few months, so just for protection, I think I'm going to leave all these in the protective plastic bags. So here are the statement of archival from Collector's Archive. I think this is a really nice touch. It comes, every one of the figures comes with this envelope to put it away in, so you can have a record of it. Think if you ever had a fire or a theft, great to have. It has a copy, an exact copy of the hologram sticker with the number for that figure. It also has the details on how that figure graded, signed by the grader, and the date that it was graded. And again, this is a nice cardstock. It's not paper. It's a really nice piece. So here is my blue Snaggletooth. again graded at an 82.3. Here is the coin, which graded at an 84.1. Also has the picture of the item on there. And if you go to the website, they have several different pictures of the item on the website. So again, if you ever had a problem, something was lost, you can go back and prove that it truly is what it is. Or if you wanted to sell it, which I don't plan on doing. So here's my Amana Man. He graded out an 87.1. It's just a great grade. Here is the Han Solo in Carbonite, graded out an 80.4. And finally, the R2-D2 with pop-up lightsaber, graded at an 80.6. Again, there are archival documents with the other two pieces as well. The Londo and the sign, but for now I'm going to leave those in the plastic bag with the figure. Okay, so back to the sign. I have to move over to my pool table to have room to show you this, but it's not a great tape measure, but you can see it is 21 inches tall by basically 19 3/4 inches wide. So 21 by 20 basically is the size of this bad boy. So I'm shocked I actually did have space for it on this shelf with a little room to spare all the way around. So I did decide to take it out of its bag because it was a little unstable. I did not want it to fall. Just the fold of the bag was creating some issues. So there it is on the shelf. Would like it to be up a little bit higher so it could be slightly above the other figures, the display of the first 12, but for now I'm going to leave it like that because I don't want to have it accidentally fall. And there it is for now in kind of its final place. Since I took it out of the bag, here is the archival statement on the sign. Photo's not quite as good, but still really, really cool. So here are a few other figures that I have either had graded or purchased graded recently. So this is my Yak Face. He is the only figure from the original collection that I didn't have. I just purchased him a few months ago. You can see I purchased him graded. He's actually UKG. I'm graded at an 85%, 85% on the paint, 85% on the figure. Really great looking example of the Yak Face figure, kind of the rarest of the rare of the original Star Wars figures. These are a few other figures that I purchased graded. This is an R2-D2. He's an AFA 75. You can see that. I actually think my R2-D2 is in a little bit better shape. There's mine. Pretty close. Here's another figure I purchased graded. I already have one, but I purchased this one graded because I got a good deal on it. This is a C-3PO AFA graded 70. Pretty good looking figure, nice gold color, no scratches, pretty clean. Here was a Lobot, again got a good deal on it. 75 plus AFA, excellent near mint, pretty nice looking figure. I still may have my Lobot graded. Two other carded figures I graded when they were running their 30-day turnaround at CAS. This is one of mine from when I was a kid. This is a Stormtrooper in Return of the Jedi box. Graded out as a 60. Not too surprising. The card's a little beat up. Some scratches and marks on it. The bubble's got a dent and a hole in it. The gun's loose. So I'm terribly surprised. This my mom purchased, I think, either at Kmart or Ventures. See the back. Statement of archival is still there. And then the other one was this tri-logo Imperial Dignitary. This one I purchased many years ago, but you see the card, the bubble in this one's pretty beat up. The card is unpunched. It's got some scratch marks on it. These tri-logo cards are not very good quality, but so he also graded out as a 60, 60.4 to be exact. The figure was an 80. The card was a 60 and, or I'm sorry, the bubble was a 60 and the card was a 75. So not, again, fair grade, I think. Not too surprised with how this one graded. And then the last couple of modern figures, I got these graded. CAS was running a 30-day turnaround for carded figures. They're actually running it again now. The other two figures I had graded in that 30-day promotion as well. So great deal. Get your figures back quicker. Same great service. So this is a rocket firing Boba Fett. Was a mail away from 2010. Grades out as a 90. You can see the statement of archival there. And then finally, this was the mail away George Lucas Saga Collection. Also graded out at a 90. This was from 2006. Archival statement. These two figures I got graded just because of the importance of them in the overall franchise. I don't really plan on getting many modern figures graded, but maybe a few. If you're curious, this is what the theater room looks like. Stormtrooper, it's Patrick Mahomes jersey. Getting some glare off the lights. In closing, I wanted to say what an amazing job Collectors Archive Services did, CAS. Couldn't have been more happy with the grades. I thought they were really fair. Hopefully you did too. Would love to get your thoughts in the comments. Couldn't be happier with the customer service, the feedback, the communication from day one has been great. I thought the prices were fair. Obviously the shipping back was great. You guys saw the box and how well they packed it. It's, I think, just top notch from top to bottom. I was really, really impressed with Collectors Archive Services. I did a bunch of research on the different grading companies before I started getting my collection graded. And I think you can saw I even bought a few just to get a sense of which ones I liked and which ones I didn't. Kind of narrowed in on Collectors Archive Services, CAS, just because of the pricing, the quality of the cases, the grades, and a little more detailed grades. And again, I thought the grades were super fair. So let me know what you think. Hopefully another video coming out soon, but may the force be with you.